Hello and welcome back to Stranded Deep. Today we are in the cartographer because we are going to be making a new island. Update 0.44 came out, they changed the way water was collected, and I thought, you know what, let's not continue with that. Let's go and make ourselves a brave new world, something which we can go and live in with plenty of water. Now let's just jump straight into the map editor by hitting create an island. So we return to an all too familiar site. Now in the comments, Stanley Orchard and his daughter have put in a request for a new island. Well, kind of a new island, sort of an anti-island, if you will. What he said is, can you make a blue hole? Which is more of a feature, sort of a marine feature, which is an area where the seabed in the hole is lower than the surrounding seabed. So it's an old, usually limestone feature from a time when the sea was a lot lower. Now, we can't really do like a true blue hole island or archipelago here. If we turn the ocean off, if we look at the very edges of the world, yep, between the islands there is pretty much nothing. And it goes down quite far. It goes down quite far. Now, what we shouldn't do is try and raise all this land up on the outside, because we will stretch the mesh and it'll look terrible and things will be able to swim underneath it and everything. So what we're going to do is just play around with this kind of cake-like area. This is going to be a challenge. This is going to be a challenge. The first thing we will do is raise up this area on the outside, and then I will probably raise up the area in the middle. Now, I'm not going to start generating different islands because I don't think it will get us very far. We already have this kind of, I guess, perfect starting point. If we look at it, it's got the new style sloped sides to it, so the sharks and other marine life have a harder time getting to you. You can paddle around ankle deep in water without getting your toes bitten off, but it also means the storm system doesn't have big waves that suddenly terminate on the beach and fold on themselves. So that's kind of a cool thing that changed a few updates ago. Now, what we're going to do is hit this button here. We're going to set height. We're going to read a height. We're going to probably read from there, but we're also going to get an object. We are going to get a boat. We're going to go to items. Yes, no. What are we going to? Structures. It's structures. Of course it is. Shipwreck 3A. Will you be the thing that we need? Yes, you are. Okay, fine. We're going to go back to the cog. We're going to hit display ocean, and what we're going to do is use the boat to kind of get a feel if we go underwater. Now, normally it's quite scary, but there's nothing here because we're in the map editor. So normally what I would do is use a structure or a boat or something to gauge the depth of the, so if we click on terrain, gauge the depth of the water, or at least gauge the depth of the seabed. So what I want to do is have the seabed shallow enough on the outside so that what we'll do is we'll raise it up to a point, but deep enough so that, you know, it still looks like a proper Stranded Deep island. And then we'll do the same thing on the interior. We'll punch down, but we're not just going to have a big blue empty mass of water. This is going to be something of a challenge to make this a functioning island. So what we're going to do is hit up objects and press T, I think, click on U, bring you up just so the top of the boat is being brushed by the water. That will do. We press R to rotate, T to transform, I think so. We can't rescale, we can't resize anything. So now we know where this is best placed. What we can go back to is terrain, set height, turn the ocean off. Let's change the size and let's get a height from about, I guess, here. There we go. We will crack the amount up because we're now setting the height. We're not pushing the terrain up or down, so we're not pushing or pulling the terrain. And we will pull it up, pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. The size is great. We've got a soft brush target value. Let's change the amount down a little bit. So we can change, we can kind of, yeah, I was trying to see if we can change the feather of the brush, which is the softness around the outside. So you can either use a hard brush or a feathered brush, but there's no way to have an even more feathered brush for the very edge. So what we'll do is we'll just come over to the edge and we'll use a smooth tool just to soften the very edge, just in case someone decides, hey, you know what, I'm going to dive out there. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So first things first, we always raise the seabed up around the outside, and we always make a joke about the Buffalo Girls. But this time we're going to be different. We're not going to make a joke about the Buffalo Girls. We're just going to bring the seabed up. Good, brilliant. This is the most, I suppose, I don't know. We've made quite a few islands on the series. We made Hobbes Rest, which is the current home island. We've made Deep Blue Sea, which is the island that we were on last episode. And those are very big islands. Those are very, they're quite nice islands, actually. I like them. But we've made other islands. I think that one of the last ones we were in the map editor for was the Crescent Island. And you know what? Sometimes you feel it and sometimes you don't feel it. I think Crescent Island was okay, but I wasn't really feeling it. It was functional and it was, it was put up for download, but I was like, you know what? I'm not really feeling it. I think one of the reasons was it was just something I'd done before, and it's, there's so many times you can do the same thing. So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be very, very different. So we're just going to make sure we don't accidentally pull the actual island mesh around too much, because I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. I like the soft side. So yeah, that's exactly what I didn't want to do. Overextend and then brush into the actual island itself. The mesh is going to bounce around a little bit, partly because we are currently brushing it in, and partly because I can change the amount up a little bit more. Partly because of level of detail effects. So the further we are away as a camera, which is what we are at the moment, we're not an avatar because we don't have a body. We are literally just the camera, or a viewport, if you will. A camera in a viewport? Ooh, yes. So we're going to be brushing around. This is not the most interesting part, though. This is the foundation, essentially. You always build a house on a good foundation. Without it, well, then you don't have a house. You just have a box. A box with blocks. And people would be like, oh, this house is not even on the foundation. No, we just pick it up and walk away. Because people might do that. You always want a good foundation for your house. Okay, so cool. We are all the way around. So we've got this lovely apron. Let's just go around again. Another pass, just to make sure that all of this is all kind of filled in. What we will do is come around again and sort of dimple the sea bed on the outside. But at the main, I want to say thrust. No. I mean, it's grammatically correct. The main objective, that's the word I was looking for. I knew the word, but I cannot remember it. What is this? So we'll do a softening of the outside while we'll try and explain the main objective. So for this episode, what I'm hoping to do is basically just chalk out the island itself. So we will get the outside done. So the outside gets to be raised up. And then what we're going to do is raise up the middle a bit and then punch it down. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Tricksy. But we're always going to be using the soften tool. So we use the brush tool, then the soften tool, then the brush tool, then the soften tool. Because you don't want any jagged polygons when you have... Because you don't know if people are going to be swimming out towards the edge of the island. They might do. They might be like, oh, you know, I really like swimming towards the edge of islands and stuff because I'm looking for the shiny pennies, no? And it's like, but I am the map creator. I have not put any shiny pennies out this way for you, sir. And they're like, oh, but you might be lying to me. I'm thinking there might be shiny pennies, and I'm like, no, there aren't any shiny pennies. Please stop swimming towards the edge. And they'll be like, oh, this map is unfinished. It is really rough around the edges. Did you even bother using the smooth tool? I did not think you're doing that. And I'm like, where are you from? Yeah, I'm from South London. Can you tell by my accent? No. Okay. So we've got the outside of the island raised up, based on the depth of a wreck. Brilliant. We might want to move this out a little bit. We might want to move this out a little bit. So that's just the thing. But let's get another object. The sea fort's good, but we don't want that. We want a large shipwreck. 6A will do. Good. This is going to be our ruler, if you will. So we're going to need, what we're going to need is to think on our feet. Oh boy. Okay, right. The hard brush is a hard brush. Fine. Let's change the size up. Let's use a softer style brush. Raise and lower. Size, amount, lower. Let's move the amount down a bit and just see what happens if we just push and hold. Things are gonna get freaky. Things are gonna get freaky. So we'll do this. And push, keep pushing. Yep. It's doing exactly what I thought it might do. Which is reveal the actual shape of the brush. Interesting. Very interesting. Also, we might, because this is a 3D space, we have to keep moving the camera around because I'm not entirely sure. We got to a point where the camera's rotating on its axis. Yeah, because we're in a 3D space. So Q and E make you go up and down normally, but because we're faced so far down, yeah. So we're going to be pushing the down. So I'm just going to push left button and hold and see what happens. It's because we're quite far away, we're not seeing too much happening. Believe me, the ground is getting deeper. We're going deeper underground. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is turn the water on. What happened? Yep, so the inside, there is a definite sudden drop. That might be a problem during a storm. Just saying. That's terrifying! And we've somehow managed to clip the camera into the sea. Into the sea? What are you talking about, my friend? Into the sand. That's the thing. Okay, cool. So what I need to do is turn the ocean off again. So that's kind of cool, but it's not where I want it. I'm going to take the object and we're going to hit R to rotate. We're going to put it on its end and we're going to press T. And then I'm going to grab these toggles, and then what we're going to do is use this boat to get the depth. Wait, what? Yep. We're using this boat as a ruler, effectively. So we're going to turn the terrain, cog, display ocean on. Display ocean on. Wow. Is that not terrifying? It's terrifying. Let's go back to objects. There we are. That's more terrifying. I wonder how that's going to be... Oh, I wonder how that's going to show up on the after compression. It's like, oh, everything's blue. I'll just compress it as a muddy blue, no? Cool. So there are a couple of problems with this style of island. One of them is the maximum depth you can be expected as a player to swim down to and then swim back out of on one lungful of air. That's quite far down. It's quite far down. You do get a breath booster, which is a cool little thing. So we can try and... Yeah, this is going to be... I think we have to build this knowing that the certain systems are going to break within Stranded Deep. And the storm system is definitely going to be one of them. It also severely reduces the amount of land on the outside of the hull for being like an actual island. But we can do stuff with that as well. So I still want something that you can go and live on. But we've got the main thrust of things. No, the main objective of things. There we go. Words. So this is good, but it's not enough. So we do need to go down a little bit more. So let's hit terrain. Raise and lower. Lower is selected. Okay, if we use the hard... No, let's use the soft brush. Let's use what we've been using. Push and hold. Okay, a little bit more. Using the shadow of the boat to see if there is a little bit more that we can stretch out, probably. So the difference between the ocean is here. Oh, this is quite deep. Oh, no, that's very deep. Okay. And the thing is, we're going to need to put some stuff in there, like shipwrecks and rocks and things to explore. There is another problem with light as well. The further you go down, the less light there is. So that's, the thing. Well, I have to bring this in a little bit. Let's go to the center. See what happens if we just push and hold on the middle. Is that going to pull everything down? Is okay. Okay, all right. So we have this kind of quarry effect. Let's get rid of that brush. We have this kind of quarry effect, which is okay. It's okay. But we can now use smoothing. The thing about blue holes in reality is that let's go soft. Let's bring this in. The thing about blue holes in reality is that there's usually things like cave systems and stuff. It's left over from an ancient time in Earth's history. So we're going to use the smooth tool at this point. Yeah, we can't build caves in here, but we can play around with rocks. So we're going to be slightly deeper than the boat itself. Let's crank the amount up a lot. That's better. Get some actual movement on the smoothing. So there's going to be a lot of dancing around in a crater, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I'm not afraid, but you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking it is... yes, we're getting some weird effects now. The lighting, even if you have the water turned off, is going to... Whoa, that is terrifying. Is going to darken down after a certain distance. So you will get the effect of being underwater even if you have the water turned off. So you can kind of get kind of an idea of how things might look to a player once they start using your map or swimming down here. Only the bravest need apply, I'm afraid. Why do I keep saying I'm afraid? I think it's a terribly British thing to do. I think a terribly Canadian thing to do is say poutine. And I'm sorry. Just apologise for everything. British people do that occasionally as well. But I do not know. I'm thinking it's more maybe an Oxfordshire thing to apologise. Definitely Canadians, though. They will apologise for anything, even if it's not their fault. I once called a Canadian American accidentally, and he was not happy about that. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm actually not American. I'm from Canada." Eh? And I was like, "Oh, maybe you like poutine." And he was like, "Yes, I do like it. Poutine, which is cheese curds and chips, which I'm guessing is cottage cheese and chips, cottage cheese chips. Oh, and gravy. Gravy. Oh, I forgot the gravy." Oh, you forgot the gravy. It is a tragic mistake. Do not do it again, or we will get the Inquisitors, and they will be like, "Oh, would you like the comfy chair?" And I'll be like, "Yes, I would like the comfy chair." They'll be like, "Ah, you cannot have the comfy chair. You said you called a Canadian American, and he was not happy with that, and then you forgot the gravy on the poutine. He's just stacking up against you, no?" Okay, well, this is the effect of me brushing away in a hole forever. Good. I know they should be a little bit more, should be kind of wider. We could probably push that out a bit. So let's do it. Lower amount is way down, soft brush, good. There we go. We can gently push the outside out to give it more of a holy feel. Holy feel? Good. We'll use the steepness of the sides to our advantage. So see, there's that weird lighting thing, LOD lighting thing, I guess. So we just need to make sure that we don't mistake that for a tiny picture of the Queen. No, for like a ridge or something. We're just sort of smoothing this out a bit. It doesn't matter if it's not completely symmetrical because nothing in nature is. Not 100% symmetrical anyway. Unless you're talking about bismuth. No, not bismuth. Bismuth's not symmetrical. It's interesting, but it's not symmetrical. Ooh, okay, yeah, sure. So we're brushing this out, brushing this out, brushing this out. So we now have a crater with a boat in it. This is going to make for an interesting thumbnail on YouTube. YouTube is like, "I was thinking you should make longer videos, no? Maybe you should not make longer videos if it's just going to be a little muddy crater with a hole in it. This is a boat. What are you doing? Alright, so this is a good start. We got display ocean on, and we go, poof. Oh yeah, no, that's terrifying. Good. So we'll do this. Let's turn the ocean off. Ocean is now off. So that's, yeah, it's a good start. We can always make the sides steeper. We're going to have to put some stuff in there. And it's always going to look a little bit less impressive in the editor than it is in the actual game for a couple of reasons. The first is obviously that a lot of the environmental effects aren't in things like food and hunger and all that sort of stuff, and actually having your avatar. So you're not limited to literally just sort of walking around on the ground. So if you're walking around on the ground, let's get a door in here. So show you guys how big you actually are. Door. So we go. Bonk. So this is. Trouble is the camera moves. There we go. So that's your height, I guess. Ugh. We're standing here at the edge of the thing, and you're like. I mean, that's pretty freaking big. That's still pretty freaking big. Take the door and pop it in the hole. Get in the hole. That's a long way down. That is a long way down. So if you're standing here and you're like, it's a bit of a lake, no? Let me see. That's in the water. Display ocean. Boom. Just be like, well, it's just a bit of a hole. What's going on? It's not very good. That's terrifying. Yeah. I think that the fact that the ground is so far away. Oh yeah, no, that's wholly terrifying. And it's going to want to populate it with stuff. We will need to smooth the edges off. This bubbly effect is probably, yeah, where a gap in the mesh is going to be. So if we look in here, can we see a gap in the mesh? Probably. It's kind of a, if you see these bubbles, they're kind of a warning. You've got rocks and stuff there if it's, you know, during testing and things. But so what we're going to do is go here, turn the ocean off, go back to terrain, hit up smooth. Ooh, you know what? We should probably actually name the island and save it and everything. That doesn't matter. Well, it does, but not for the time being. So we're going to set the size and the amount. And I'm going to use the soft brush still. Probably use a larger brush. There we go. It's going to be really awkward to smooth. I have a feeling. Let's do this. Let's do it. What's this looking like? I don't think we're going to get over the fact that it's going to be still a bit polygony, just because of the way the engine handles the way the engine handles the old polygons. The like triangles are still too far apart for my liking. So like fine detail is always going to be tricksy. But it's okay. We're just working with what we've got at the moment. So we need to go around and just brush in. I've got the amount and the size down because what I don't want to do is just sort of click and then have a hole punched through the remaining part of the island or mess up something kind of critically. I think rocks are going to be quite good around here as well, just because I don't think I think we're going to get a lot of holes in the sea texture, in the sea mesh. So it's going to be something to keep an eye on. It's a little something to keep an eye on. If we turn this on over here, yeah, still, yeah. I mean, whoop, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, it's going to be tricksy. I reckon it's going to be tricksy. Okay, fine. So we're going to, you can go off. We can go back here. Terrain. Smooth. Yes, smooth that. Okay, cool. So we're just going to get a little smoothly smooth, and run all the way around the outside. That's a very small door. I thought it was down a lot further, but the effect of being, let's crank the amount up a little bit more so we have the less brush strokes. Nice. Cool. So yes, we'll brush in, get rid of this jaggedness. Whereas brush after, so if you got the main brush out and you're like, ooh, I've just raised the terrain or lowered the terrain, then you always do a smooth height. Always smooth it afterwards, because you might forget about it. You might go, oh, you know what? I've forgotten about it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a shower and then maybe a bath, and then maybe I talk to some Canadians about their dietary habits. And then, oh no, I've forgotten to smooth my terrain, and there's lumpy bits, but it's already out on the internet, and people are like, oh, your terrain's a little bit lumpy, my friend. Cool. So we have smoothed the inside of our hole. Still think it needs to be slightly steeper on the sides, but you know what? Let's see what it looks like from way, way above. This is going to be interesting. It looks exactly like I thought it would look. Yeah, it looks very stranded deep. Very, very... yeah, very stranded deep. If I had to explain it, something stranded deep would probably come to mind. Okay, so the blue hole is going to be an archipelago, which is a collection of small islands or island chains. So how are we going to do this? Well, we don't need to seal the hole in. In fact, having it connected to the ocean is a good idea for two reasons. For two very, very good reasons. One, if someone is going to be swimming out of here, camera. If someone's going to be swimming out of here, they might not be able to walk up a particularly steep-sided section. So you might want them to be able to swim out onto like a sandbar and then walk away or walk back onto the island itself. Yeah, there's reasons, and I think in nature these things aren't disconnected from the sea. So either tide or time will have them connected. We'll leave this on for the time being. I think the effect is good. I think the effect is very good. I think we're going to need to do a lot more smoothing around the outside, only because of this foam makes me worry that the mesh is going to be broken on these areas. So yeah, I don't really want like obvious gaps, but I think this is where obvious gaps might be, and we can throw rocks and stuff in there. Okay, fine. As for the island itself, well, it kind of inhibits of exactly what we can do with an island. Which is how I imagine most Americans talk. I don't know, it's got a weird fascination with Americans. As a British person, everyone speaks British. And then you get people and they have this strange foreign accent, and you're like, talk to me in your foreign accent. I think German accents are pretty pleasant. A lot of people are like, I don't think the German accent is very pleasant, but I've heard quite a few German people speak, and they have a very soft way of speaking. If you hear a native speaker, who else? I like the Scandinavian accents. There's always something cool about Scandinavian because it's not based on like Latin. It's not based on Latin alphabet, so it's kind of I don't know, it's just something pleasing about the way that the sounds are formed. And obviously with the Americans and Canadians and things, you have something that is English or nominally English. And let's have a softer brush, a very small amount. And it's yeah, of course we lose the side. Let's save this quickly. Let's hit save. Let's call it exactly what it is. And I can't see around my thing. I can't How do you spell archipelago? Apparently like that. With a blue I can't Feature. I'm British. There's a lot more U's and marine. There we go. An island archipelago with a blue hole marine feature. It's not that I can't type. It's that reaching around the microphone puts your hands in different places. So we'll save that, and then we'll resume. It's always good to save because you might end up on the raise and lower height, accidentally have that cranked all the way up, and that cranked all the way up. You click, and then blam, you have no island left. So let's make sure those are very low. Yeah, American accents. American accents and Canadian accents are strange because normally English, with some differences, but you get, I don't know, it's all the sort of strange accents that you don't normally hear in the UK. I want a larger brush. I want a soft brush. I heard anecdotally that a lot of people in the UK that have like an Echo Dot or a Home Assistant will switch it to American, and people in America will switch it to British because they find each other's accents pleasing. I think it's probably just to do with the fact that it's not common, and things that aren't common are kind of unique, and people prize things that are unique. So yeah, cool. What are we doing? We're punching in a waterway essentially, or just an area in. So kind of an area that, because there's no point in having this thing linked entirely. But what I want to do is have an obvious way in and out. Maybe a way of getting a raft in. Oh, raft. Although having said that, all the rafts, they require fuel now. That's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem if you have to fuel your raft. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that. So the main changes in 0.44, if you're watching these as they go out, are... Let's turn the ocean off. Well, I can almost not see what I'm needing to brush now. That's a pain in the butt. Let's turn it back on. Okay. Yeah, the main changes in 0.44. One was the fuel still. Let's go to smooth height. One was the fuel still. So anything that has a petrol engine now requires you to make a fuel still and use potatoes to make fuel. Fine, that makes sense. But the amount of fuel you get is quite low, and the amount of fuel in the engines is quite low. It just doesn't make sense, especially with the gyrocopter now being craftable using items in the game instead of having to fight boss monsters. It's just like, hang on a second. The gyrocopter now can't fly as far as a petrol-powered raft, but it's supposed to be an end-game item? I don't understand what the purpose of it is. And then there's the water still, or the water collector, or the water whatever it is, requiring fibrous leaves. Where's my mouse? I'm brushing in this sort of this cut through here. Let's turn the ocean off. Make sure that is nice and smooth. It's not. What is going on? Why am I not brushing? It is brushing. It's just doing it very, very slowly. Cool. Yeah, requiring fibrous leaves in your water collectors. Doesn't make sense. Really doesn't make sense. I think because of the amount of water you get from each leaf is just appalling. Somebody, I think either Ben or Sam. I want to say Sam. I don't know why. I've never met either of them. I'm just going to give Ben the benefit of the doubt. But Sam, that's Sam. Probably, I don't know. I just remember one of them saying that maybe we're going to make a farming plot so you can farm fibrous leaves. And I'm like, why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. If you get to farm fibrous leaves, then you nix like other areas of the game where you require ropes and stuff, and it doesn't fix the problem of the water collectors being inefficient. It's just like, if you have an inefficient water collector, there are other ways to collect water. I don't know. One of the things I did or do like about the game is the fact that it's not overly challenging. So you can still have a relaxing time in this kind of terrifying marine environment. In fact, the environment is half of the game. Just having this lovely water mesh and having this, I think the amount needs to be way, way more up. Yes, it does. Having this lovely water mesh and having this kind of lovely environment to be in. It's definitely something to be said for that. But then making arbitrary changes to make it harder because people in the forum are asking for it. I think the people in the forum need to chill. Just calm down. Woosah. Ooh, so. Okay, we're going to turn the... I don't need the camera up. Let's turn the water back on, so we're going to go back to the cog. So what we're doing is we're essentially trying to shape the archipelago now. So we need ways to get boats in. And if you look, I think there's one off the coast of Borneo. And there's a speedboat, and it's just kind of sailing straight in. So what we'll do is we'll make sure that there is a way in. Now, bearing in mind the game might put some rocks and stuff there. It doesn't really matter too much because we're going to have to put some sort of feature here so that people can actually see that, yeah, this is the way in to the hole if you want to bring your raft in. Other ways might bottom the thing out. What we are going to need to also do is bring this out a bit here probably. So let us raise up, raise the height. We can do this here. So if we bring up set height, soft brush, read from here. This is why we save it, because the amount was cranked all the way up. Fortunately, we had it on set height. If we had it on, if we had it on just raise, we'd have punched the spire to the moon. It would not have been very fun. But that's not a problem, because that brings that out a bit. We now know what we need to do. He knew what he had to do. If you ever listen to podcasts, go do yourself a favor and go and listen to Myths and Legends. And you'll know exactly what that he knew what he had to do, or she knew what she had to do. That happens a lot of Myths and Legends. But yeah, it's a very, very good podcast. Yeah, it's one that I listen to a lot at work. That and fictional, same guy. I think it's is it Eric Weiser? I can't remember his name, but he's quite good. That and LeVar Burton. LeVar Burton does a really good podcast. LeVar Burton reads. It's like reading Rainbow, but for adults. So we're going to hit the set terrain height again. We're going to not change the time of day, although, I mean, suddenly everything got a bit sinister. Let's do this. Okay, cool. So we're going to have to bring this area down. So what we need is an area that people can build houses and stuff on. We're also going to need to make it quite interesting. But what we're not going to want is it to be too big to take away from the massive water feature, essentially, on the inside. The other thing, okay, let's set height. Set height is probably safer. Set height from there. The amount is down, so then we can push this back a bit. Good. Pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back. Cool, there we go. So we got this kind of sandy bottom. Nice. Nice. Probably do the same thing with this on these edges and then just bring the center part up, maybe? So we can read that, set the size down. Okay. Bring this up so we got some grass, but then punch the center or the edges down. That's probably a better thing to do. The reason is it's just the area is closer to the water. I still am not trusting it not to break the ocean mesh at that point. It's not a problem. It's not really a problem. So we're going to bring this up a bit. We're going to have to play around with rocks and the like to make it all quite... this is quite a challenge, actually. Trying to think on my feet. And... yeah, thinking on your feet and narrating. Was that a set height or did I just accidentally click? I accidentally clicked. Yeah, narrating and trying to think on your feet and trying to make an island all at the same time. Oh, it's so... It's tricksy. It's very, very tricksy. Okay, let's push this in, push this in. I wonder what this is doing underwater. Don't know. I don't rightly know. Okay. Right, so let's do this. Let's turn the ocean off a second. Okay, so what have we done? What have you done? All right. Okay, fine. Then hit smooth, crank it up, and change the size down so we can get to smooth this off. Nice. So we've lost some. I want to keep the sort of very circular shape. That's definitely something that needs to happen. Same time, I still don't want it to be too steep on the areas where people might actually build a house or something. So that's cool. I think this line is not actually like a... I think this line is like the water line, maybe? Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, so we've still got that stuff. Kind of. I feel we might need to do some with rocks and things. Might need to push this back a bit more as well. Okay, let's do it. So yeah, sort of moving the camera around in 3D space is kind of an interesting, quite tricky thing to do. We'll read that, change the size down, make sure the amount is... No, size up, mount down. There we go. Read from here. Is that going to work? No. We might need to make this a lot lower. I mean, that definitely works, but not in the way I was thinking. So the amount is... so if we push here... Okay, alright. Then we might need just to smooth off this kind of spine of land. Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be better, isn't it? Yeah, let's get rid of those bubbles. That's kind of cool. And just made it a bit more. Alright, yeah, we're going to have to smooth it off. We might not actually have any grass on the archipelago. Ooh, well, that's not a problem. It's not a problem. Just makes it... That's better. Yeah, there it goes. It snaps back in. Alright, okay, cool. Makes it a little bit better. Just kind of pulling the mesh around. I wonder when, like, Ben and Sam were sort of talking to each other, and they were like, "Oh, you know what people would like? I'm thinking the map editor." And they're like, "Oh, the map editor," but they will be sort of pulling things around. They would just be making a simple island, one made out of sand with a few palm trees. I don't think it's going to be too tricky. I don't think they're going to try anything like making a giant hole in the freaking ocean, man. And then they cracked out the Fosters, which is probably not actually drunk in Australia, thinking about it. They probably didn't crack out the Fosters, but some Fosters analog. And they were like, "Oh, yes, that is fine. We will just leave it at that, no?" Yes, yes. All right, so this is delightful. Okay, I think that's better. I think that's definitely better. And then we're just gonna have to smooth off this area of land here. Yes, or put some rocks and stuff up there so it looks like it's holding the dirt in. Can we smooth this? Can we crank it up and rip the knob off? Probably can. Let's do it. Let's do it and see what we get. Something that's overly steep, I'll bet. Oh, like the freaking bubbles are back. Whoa, why are you making so much fuss about the freaking bubbles, man? It's just bubbles. Yeah, you don't want gaps in there. Gaps in the mesh. Alright, so this is back to smoothing. So we brush, we smooth, we brush, we smooth. We brush, we smooth. It's ooh, so you come here often? No? It's lovely weather for the weekend, maybe? Don't know. I'm hoping it's lovely weather, actually. I've got to pick the motorbike up. I'm like, ooh, I've been driving a hybrid around for a while. Maybe I should get my motorbike out. It's not been happy out there in the cold and the wet of the winter. I actually genuinely wasn't that happy. And the brakes all seized up. I actually brake seized up when I got the car. And I was like, oh, I've got the car and it's cold out. I'm not going to fix it. And then when I went to try and fix it, it was like, oh, no, this is really, really broken. So it'd be nice to have the bike back. It'd be good. I saw some motorbikes on the way home from work, actually, and they look like they're having a good time. I was like, oh, I'm sad now. You guys are having a good time. I'm a little bit jealous. But I will have my bike back tomorrow. Do not worry. Do not worry. So yeah, we're using this smooth tool, and that's going to change the height of this kind of lumpy islandy bit. Which is fine. So let's smooth all that off. I want a bit of grass to be on the island itself. So the height's kind of important, but the grass only shows up over a certain height anyway. So that's that. Still these bubbles. Does that affect the steepness? I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure. So that's cool. I think, so what have we got? If we look above, we have this area to the bottom, this area up here, here, we've got a way in, and then this huge section here that probably should kind of rise up. So the idea is what we'll do is pop some trees and stuff in. I still say we need to smooth this off a lot more than it is. A lot more than it's just rip the knob off. All right, the knob's been ripped off. The trouble is because we're so close to the very edge of this precipice, what we don't want to be doing is accidentally filling it in. That would be not good, but then how do we see? How do we see? It looks like it gets to a point and then the bubbles get to a point and then they just kind of snap. So that's kind of an interesting little feature. So yeah, pushing it back, pushing it back. Oh, we're going to have to do so much work here, I think, to make this work properly. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that being a thing. We might just put cliff edges in. I think that might be a good idea. Just because the sand just doesn't make too much sense. Let's push this out here as well. Smooth it back. Just smooth the top off it as well. Just remembering to keep everything island-like. Let's put some stuff on the outside. Oh yeah, no, we can totally do that. What am I thinking? So while we can keep the island kind of islandy, we can put little islandlets on the outside, I guess. Just raise up a small area of land. Yeah, we can totally do that. That, I think, is a really good idea. And then the inside, we can fill with wrecks and things like that tiny door, rocks and wrecks and just things to swim around in. So people who are being adventurous, they can be like, oh, you know what, I'm going to see what's down there, and then we can hide things down there. So like, well, here's a boat. Oh, suddenly that's a long way down. That's a freaking long way down. So if we turn the water back on, water, come back on. There's nothing there. Ooh, there's nothing there. Bloop. Oh, there's still nothing there. Oh, it's straight out of the depths. Yeah, that's definitely terrifying. So into the water, and you're swimming around. And you look down, and you say, "Whoa, there's nothing down here." So you get your breath boost on, and you realize how far away the sea is. The sea surface. Oh, I want to go up. Please go up. There we go. There we go. Well, for kind of an anti-island, it's taking shape. It's taking shape. It's going to require a lot more tweaking, I think. But I can see, yeah, I can see this isn't going to be too difficult. Yeah, islandlets, small islands on the outside are definitely something we can do. Maybe some rock bridges, and then repeat the rock bridges and stuff on the inside. Maybe put some rock shelves and stuff and bits and pieces. I think this is going to be quite good. But you know what? I'm going to leave it there for the time being. So if you want to see what this island turns out like, if you want to witness it form in all its glory, and if you want to play it eventually, because I will post this definitely. Leave a little like, leave a little subscribe, and you know what? I'll catch you next time.